The only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We're going to bring you the news and reviews of your favorite brews. I, as you may have guessed, am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
This is the first time listening to the podcast. You probably didn't.
Well, maybe they're clairvoyant.
Just guess my name.
Yeah. Also,
That's not my name.
The demented and fermented.
That's not my name.
I'm not going to tell you.
Fair enough.
You either know or you don't. But I'm here.
If you know, you know.
If you don't, you don't.
You don't.
Oh,
now
man.
You don't know.
Oh, man. Well, here we are. We are back at the Pennsylvania Dutch Brewers Festival. This is the 2019 edition of it here at the Reading Liederkranz.
Bigger and better.
Bigger and better indeed.
And I'm not injured anymore.
This
That's
is true.
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last year, this event, it was my first jaunt out of the hospital.
Yeah, where you could barely drink anything.
Yeah, that sucked being the sober person.
Yeah, I
in a
can
room full
imagine.
of really drunk people.
Yeah, it's never fun.
Yeah, it's Berks County, and it's a beer fest.
Remember the story about the glasses lost in the Uber? I think that was the last call.
Oh, yes. So
That
the
was
last call
after
from
this event.
Yeah, that was after this event.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that story wasn't in
the
that
story
last call.
happened, right,
That-
and then we talked about it later.
The actual event happened
Yeah,
after
yeah.
this.
Yes, it did.
But yeah, it's a lot warmer this year.
It is. I was
Well,
worried.
it's also
cold
a
last year.
month earlier.
It
was
is it?
in late October last
Was
year.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Maybe
yeah.
that makes
Can
more
you tell
sense
which
then.
of the three of us actually helped to organize
Oh, that
this
makes
show?
sense. 'cause
Or
I
who
was-
pays attention to anything at all?
No, because
ever.
there was a Flyers game that I was paying attention to that day also.
Of course, because
And
sports.
it's preseason right now, and it was real
Yeah, how about
season
that
then.
great preseason game Thursday night.
Shut up.
Wow. Well, if you don't know, so this is an event where there is a bunch of local homebrew clubs serving homebrews. There's going to be a competition. Is it just people's choice? There's no like official judging, right?
No, I think there's both.
Oh, there is both. But yeah, there's a lot of local homebrew clubs here. They're going to be serving homebrews. People can vote on their favorites. There's going to be prizes. But there's also commercial breweries here serving beer in a more traditional beer fest style. So it's a cool fusion between the two. And one of the points that they made on the information about the event was that it's an opportunity for people to come out and talk to homebrewers about their process. And they kind of said, before they go professional or whatever, So who knows? Maybe one of the beers you drink here today, and a year from now they're going to have their own brewery and be selling it commercially. But it's a pretty cool event. It's not just a homebrew fest. It's not just a commercial beer fest. It's a little of both. There's German food.
I was going to say, can't forget the
Can't
food.
forget the food. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
German food. Best kind of food.
Yeah, got that right. But all that said, if you want to find us on the internet, Dan, where should you look?
Of course. Twitter and Instagram, we are at Beer Busters. Facebook, we are Beer Busters Podcast. There is beerbusterspodcast.com and patreon.com/beerbusters, where you get to hear such things as Last Call, and you could even listen to and watch those punishments from Happy Fun Time. There may or may not be one in Last Call for this episode.
Yeah, we don't
I had the
normally-
brief idea, and it might happen.
Yeah, I don't know. We
I think it could happen.
We'll see. We'll
Because
see how it
I
goes.
want more videos to edit. That's cool.
After all the edit points you give me in a regular episode, yes, we're going to
That's
give
fair.
you more video to
Yeah,
edit.
that's fair.
Yes.
But yeah,
You should do a video today.
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what we were talking about.
No, I mean a
oh, just
video
in
like
general.
for our YouTube page because we plugged our YouTube page. Oh,
No, we didn't. We will have plugged it in the future because of podcast time. Fuck. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What was I even saying? Oh, we might do something goofy in Last Call. We might do a punishment video of sorts. We're not going to do a game because it's a fest episode. We're just going to interview random peeps and try some beers throughout the day. But yeah, patreon.com/beerbusters. You can also hear the story that Steph was talking about earlier about the glasses lost in an Uber that was told on Last Call. You get to hear all the cool behind-the-scenes things. So definitely worth checking out. Also, sign up for our newsletter. Why not?
Yes, do that.
Cool, guys.
let's get this show on the road.
Let's get the show on the road. 2019 Pennsylvania Dutch Brewers Festival. Let's do it. It has been a terribly long time since we've had anybody on the show from Deer Creek, but that ends right now.
That may be because of how hungover we were after that episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's always a wonderful time with the folks there, and they were kind enough to give us the malt art for 100th episode,
Yes.
which I admire every time we're at your house, Steph, because you greedily kept it.
Well, I live in
Two
the
of
Beer
us-
Busters podcast basement is in my house.
Two-thirds of us live together.
I don't care.
Yeah, well, anyway.
And I have to say, though, one of my favorite pictures of the three of us is with us with our Deer Creek shirts on, with the malt door open after the end of that episode.
Yeah, that was a cool shot. I don't think my Deer Creek shirt fits anymore. So that's a different story. However, we have joining us the newest member of the team at Deer Creek. Emma, how are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for
drinking beer.
Yeah, see, that makes everything better. Is drinking beer. Thank you for coming up to the table and spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
They threw her to the wolves.
Yeah, I just found out today that you are like brand new with Deer Creek.
Absolutely. I moved here Monday. I got in at like 11 o'clock at night and started at 6 in the morning on Wednesday.
That sounds not ideal.
Your first
That's fine.
task.
Yeah.
Beer busters.
Yeah, right. Your first official task. Well, welcome to Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
How has it been at Deer Creek so far?
Good. Everybody's really great. Like Mark a lot. Trevor's pretty cool.
How much did they pay you to say that?
Not enough.
So you moved up here from Texas, was it?
I did. I moved from Austin.
From Austin, Texas to Eastern Pennsylvania.
Why?
To come to Deer Creek, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's worth it.
Well, how did you get involved with Deer Creek? How did that come about?
So I was malting in Texas for Blacklands Malt, and I had been doing that for about a year and a half prior, and I spoke at the Pink Boots National Conference this past January, and ended up meeting, I can't remember her name, but she works for a brewery. Is that a spotted lantern fly on me again?
Stink bug,
Okay.
even better.
Cool. One of the girls that was at the conference, I ran into her and she mentioned that she was from PA and asked if their brewery used Deer Creek, and she actually got me in touch with Mark. Kind of just a casual email, but I've been stalking them since last October. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
And now it all came to fruition.
it did.
So what's your actual role at Deer Creek then?
I'm somewhat still production, and I think I'm still kind of figuring that out.
Also,
Um,
a podcast
Yeah,
guest. I mean, there you go.
I'm getting currently paid to drink beer and talk, so I can't complain about that.
Wow. What's
yeah.
that like?
Yeah,
That'd be
no,
nice.
getting
We do a
paid
lot
to
of that, but
drink.
nobody pays us.
Yeah.
Well, the
Well,
patrons
our
do.
patrons do.
We do 2/3 that. We drink and talk, but we don't get paid.
No,
Oh,
wow.
well,
It's all right.
maybe Mark will hire you to do the same thing.
Hey, I'd be okay with that.
So they create these magical malts, which many local breweries use, but to be able to create products so that they can showcase those malts and you can experience what these malts can do, I think is exciting. So as of right now, Mark shared that the malt beverages are available at some local markets, local to Glen Mills, of course. If you're interested in checking out those products, and hopefully that will continue to expand. It would be really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to the idea of drinking something made with the malts from the malt house,
Yeah.
especially. So is that in bottles then that you can buy
They're in
around in
cans.
cans?
In cans,
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. Because
Yeah.
I remember when we were there, we shot a video there forever ago. It's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/beerbusterspodcast.
Why would you promote that? We haven't done anything on there in like 2 or
Well,
3
maybe
years.
he'll be inspired to now.
There you go. But that video is really cool. But we sat down and we drank some beers that they had brewed, just
Yeah.
kind of home brewed with the malts that they grew. And it's really cool to be able to have the malts there, to see the malts, taste the malts, and then see the result of that with the beer.
Well, and
So
Emma,
it's a
you
cool
were just
idea.
saying you were just at Forest and Maine and had a beer there that was brewed with Deer Creek malt.
I did. I don't actually remember which one it is, but I've had
Insert
a
name here.
few of them. Yeah. No, they're really good. I like what they do. I actually, as part of the story, I guess, met the guys that own Forest and Maine last November. So that was kind of a serendipitous experience as well.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what it was like for you as a maltster in Texas. Can you talk about that and maybe some of the really cool breweries that you got to collaborate with while you were there?
Yeah, my journey into malting, I guess, kind of leaves me like getting sick of college. I did
Fair enough.
I did like 3 years, a little more, and decided that I didn't want to be an attorney, and left. And actually, was just supposed to do a 3-month internship with Blacklands, and they asked me to stay on. And then I became the supervisor this past summer. So very quick, thrown into it, but it's good. I really enjoyed what I did. They're a larger scale than Deer Creek currently, but very different, but also very similar. And I was the only woman in the state to do it, which is
Oh, wow. That's cool.
kind of interesting for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the process of floor malting. I think it leaves a better experience in terms of we're in there hands-on day in and day out, and it's just a little bit different than pneumatic
Right.
machined malting.
Feels like there's more of a personal touch to it.
Absolutely.
You were physically raking that malt.
Yeah.
And it looks cool.
Yeah.
It does look really cool.
I mean, I'm really good at just shoveling things now. Like, I've got really
really good at
strong
shoveling.
shoulders. I
So,
come with my own
I
shovel.
mean, that'll be helpful since you moved here from Texas. I'm
Yeah.
sure you didn't have to shovel a lot of snow down there, but now that you're up this
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
those skills are going to come in handy
Oh,
in just a
Jesus.
couple months, probably.
So did I hear that you worked closely with Jester King?
Absolutely. They're actually one of Blackland's biggest customers. They have worked with Blacklands since the beginning, and Blacklands was founded, I think, unofficially around 2012, officially in 13. And they were incredibly supportive from the start. I know Jeff and Avery both worked with Brandon, is the owner of Deer Creek, Blacklands. They worked together extensively, and they have a really great relationship. And yeah, I mean, their whole story is very local, supportive, craft beer and malt and just maintenance of the land. And yeah, they make a great product, and we were really happy to be working with them. So
That's so cool. I just remember the first time I ever had a beer made with the PA Dutch, which Deer Creek has so graciously donated a gigantic ass bag of it for one of the winners today, which is so cool.
That's pretty
I'm
cool.
secretly
Yeah, that's
hoping
awesome.
that the beer that Ron and I brewed wins, so I can have this bag of malt. Probably take me a long time to use it though, because
It's got a hair of Dutch.
There
Thank
it
you,
is.
Thank you. But that, oh my gosh, it kind of, and I feel like that process is the same as the first time I've ever had craft beer. It transforms your view of it, because you're used to drinking beer and you think malt does a certain thing to beers and tastes a certain way. But then when you have something done by a smaller maltster, I don't know, it's transformative. It's something different. It's something special. I don't know, that different from what you get from just normal malt. I don't know. Does that even make sense?
yeah,
Maybe I
mean,
haven't
Sure.
had enough alcohol yet today to speak clearly.
Well, drink up.
I mean, I can kind of expand on that, I guess, in terms of like, as a maltster, it's really special for me because I pour a lot of physical labor into what I do, and I also emotionally invest in it. I love what I do. And then to go out and meet with brewers and consumers that drink a beer made with our product, regardless of where I'm working, is incredibly special because I get to see real-time reaction into what I do for a living. So
There is nothing like handing someone something that you created and watching their face as they experience it, in this case, consume it. I vividly remember I joined Burke's Homebrew the year of NHC in Philly. What year was that, like 2013 maybe?
Give or take.
So, and whenever the National Homebrewers Conference, they call it like HomebrewCon or something lame like that now, they always have a club night where homebrew clubs set up a stand, kind of like the way the homebrewers are set up here at this event. And our club, we took down a 20-tap tower, and we had all these beers on tap. And what was really cool about club night is it's not just other homebrewers going around, but there's a lot of industry people. And I was actually reminiscing of the story today with someone. So Mitch Steele and Sam Calzone came up to our booth, and I gave both of them my beer. And like to see their faces after they consumed it, and to hear them talk so positively about it, and like for me, I was like that's an unforgettable experience. But you know, even if it's not someone like the two of them, just that interaction that you have with someone when here is something I created and kind of, you know, put my heart into, and to watch them experience it and hopefully smile and have a positive reaction, like there's not much else that can beat that.
I imagine, though, working in the malting side or even growing hops or anything like that, you're one more step back from that. So is it ever like scary to think like you're going to go out and try a beer that was made with a malt that you put so much hard work and passion into, and then they like made a really crappy beer out of it?
absolutely.
It's got to be a bit of a
it's-
concern because it's sort of out of your hands. There's a whole other step there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that as well. And I think one of my experiences, and not to knock brewers in general at all, but, you know, there's an expectation with large consumer malt that it's readily available. It's pretty much a set standard of you're going to have consistency. But then if you work with craft maltsters, you expect the same level of, I guess, output in a way that you don't have to think about your product. But what's nice about that, if something goes wrong, it's usually very easy to get a hold of us. You know, we have a different insight. You can call us. We're right up the road kind of thing. That's been something that I haven't been able to put into words yet with people that I've worked with. Just call us, you know, like we're right there. You can use us. We want to work with you and help make something better. I guess another story of that, you know, Blacklands worked with a brewery in Austin, and they actually helped develop one of our recipes because they liked something, and they were like, well, can you do this? And changed it and ended up becoming one of the staples at Blacklands, and that's what everybody gets now. And it's just a more personal touch and relationship, I think.
And it's cool. It's cool to be in the beer industry, especially now, able to find those sort of local crafted raw ingredients in a way that I don't think was possible not even that long ago, where it was all you had to buy your malts in bulk. Everything came from Germany or came from these giant farms, and you didn't have that personal connection, and you could. And now there's local hop farms, there's local maltsters, and it's really cool to be part of that process. That there is sort of a collaboration up and downstream. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, it was so awesome to finally meet you.
You too.
And we look forward to when we get back to Deer Creek. And
This has been far too long.
hopefully we'll have...
It was episode 69.
What was it, 17 growlers we
of course it was.
finished? What was the pinata's name? Francisco? Of course it was
Oh,
Francisco.
that's
Yep, that's
right.
right.
Yep.
I wonder if the
Oh my God.
pinata is still around. Didn't they bring the pinata to our 100th
Yeah,
episode?
yeah, he was there. He was
Yeah.
definitely there.
Yeah, he was one of the guests of
What
honor.
episode is this?
177.
177?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while. Okay. Well, now that we're singing Stained,
No, make it stop.
yes, we should. Emma, thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you around.
Yeah, of course.
All
Now
right.
go get drunk. I demand
Yes.
it.
I can do that.
All right. Hashtag Bantlers.
Doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it actually was, that we were at Saucony Creek, new location. We got a sneak preview in Reading at the wonderful train station. It's beautiful inside there. But that means the only reason I'm talking about it is we have Kirby here. Kirby, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, fantastic, man. Thank you for coming up to the table with us. This event is it's quite something.
I love the band. Love the location.
Yeah.
You know?
We should give a shout out to the band. They weren't playing when we were recording earlier. It's a band called Middle Class. They were voted the best house band in Philly, which is kind of cool. They sound really good so far. They played The Who, they played the Traveling Wilburys, and some other stuff along the way. And I'm looking forward to see what they have. I got to admit, though, I'm more so looking forward to the beer than I am the band, if I can be totally honest. Steph grabbed a couple of cans, and we're passing them around. So how has everything been going at the new place?
It's been overwhelmingly good. People love the location, just the atmosphere and the environment. It's a beautiful venue. We're getting really good reviews on
Good.
Facebook and Yelp and all those media's platforms for as far as reviews, and people, again, keep commenting about the venue. They just love it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's beautiful in there. Steph and I were there with a couple of her spirit animal friends not too long ago.
I'm sorry, Spanimals?
Spanimals,
They're
I know.
called Spanimals?
They are called Spanimals. But it was a great time. The food is delicious. Martha is the name of the chef, right?
Martha.
That food is just absolutely insane.
I'm still waiting for her to make me a vegetarian mole. She did promise. I'm just saying.
I had pretzels with a bowl of cheese, and when it first got in front of me, I was like, "This is too much cheese." And at the end, it was the perfect amount.
I'm sorry, too much cheese. Wait
Listen,
a minute,
I
too
know,
much
I know.
cheese?
How can that be?
What does that mean?
I know. Those are words that don't make sense. But it's such a cool place, such a cool spot, and not to belittle the original location in Kutztown. That's a phenomenal spot too. You guys have a great thing going in both places.
Outside this summer has been awesome. Up in Kutztown, we put in a patio last year, and people are out there. Like today, I was at the brewery at another event earlier today, and the patio was packed. And we have a play set there. Kids are running around. Mom and dad are drinking beer and don't care about the kids.
That must be nice. Yeah.
That's a whole separate episode. Kids at breweries.
You should open
you
up a
go.
Oh,
daycare
man.
at the brewery and charge
Oh,
them.
yeah, right.
Charge the parents.
We might have to add that to our idea for a future episode. Kirby and I are just going to sit down and bitch about everything we dislike about the industry.
Well, you know, and it was funny because you were talking about that a little bit before we started this interview, and we brought up Martha, and like she should totally have her own like cooking podcast.
Oh my god,
like
I would
she
watch
would be
that.
amazing.
I love her.
She
I
is
want to
so
take her and
great.
put her in my pocket and keep her with me all day long. She's so adorable.
We're not going to let that happen. We're keeping her.
I'll take her out now and then. All right.
Only now and then.
Just to cook, that's all. Maybe a little walk through the dining room and then back.
But what an amazing thing to bring to the city of Reading. I know that so many business owners in this area have been trying to bring back that heart and soul that Reading had so many years ago, and I think that the new Saucony location is going to continue to help that desire.
Well, we want to be part of it. We can help make it happen. We can't do it by ourselves. But, the response from the community, people that coming in from the suburbs and people that live in the city, just a great response from everybody. They really love the idea. They want to support it. And we've been talking with more and more people recently that they get that concept of one place starts it and another place and another place, and then hopefully all of a sudden it's 10, 15, 20, 30 places that are bringing people into the city on a regular basis for recreation.
I mean, we've seen and talked about on the podcast numerous times about how just one brewery, one great brew pub, one great tap room can revitalize a neighborhood, revitalize an entire town, an entire city. And I think a lot of that effort's been going on in Reading, and I think Saucony. I think other places have already started that, within the past couple of years. But I think Saucony being there is gonna be the thing that makes it really sort of click into place. And I think you guys are going to bring in a lot of other really cool stuff.
We see ourselves as a piece of the puzzle. Yeah. We're not going to solve the puzzle, but we see ourselves as a piece of that puzzle to help get the rest of the puzzle put together and get it going.
So cool.
And we really enjoyed the Kirby's when we were there. We got an order and shared them. Did you know a Kirby is a type of
that's right.
cucumbber?
Yeah.
They pickled
I
them.
didn't know that.
Pickled Kirby's.
Pickled Kirby's.
And I
Pickled
just
Kirby's.
loved the irony of that on the menu. It made me giggle. And then,
That's
of course, I
amazing.
immediately texted Kirby and was like, were these grown in your garden? That would have been the ultimate.
Next
Kirby
year, maybe.
cucumbers grown in Kirby's garden, pickled and served at Kirby's Brewery.
Kirby's
Absolutely.
pickled Kirby's.
So
That's a little meta.
we did grow cucumbers, eggplant, hot peppers, tomatoes in the garden on our farm, and brought those to both locations because we use local grown food. But I'm going to look into growing Kirby cucumbers next year.
Yes. You're welcome. And you can make a pickle beer.
Pickle beer. I don't know if Nick's
Did you
gonna
have
like
Mark's
that.
pickle beer?
No, I didn't.
Mark made a pickle beer just for me, and it's fucking amazing.
I'm going to have to try that.
I have been begging people to make pickle beers for many, many, many. That is a throwback, because I think the first time I begged Colin when he was still at Kutztown Brewing. It's Golden Avalanche. What's that place called?
Golden Avalanche.
At Golden Avalanche.
The Kutztown Tavern.
That's a throwback.
You asked him for a pickle beer?
Yes, I did.
Really?
And he said no.
Of course he did.
We've done
Thank you, Colin.
We've done a cucumber kolsch, but we've never done
Yeah.
a pickled beer.
Let's make this happen. It could be a Beer Busters collaboration, or at least a Steph and Kirby collaboration. I haven't put on my pink boots for a while, so
Oh, wow.
we need to make that
Okay.
happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of beers,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which one do we have now?
So
What are
right
we
now,
passing around?
we've got our Kutztown Golden Bear Pilsner, brewed in the traditional Pilsner style using all the regular Pilsner malts in a recipe. We kick up the hops just a little bit, like to call it kind of an updated Pilsner for today.
The Pilsners are the original hoppy beer.
Yes. Pardon?
There's no need to update them. They're already hoppy.
Oh, I see what you're
By
saying. You
definition.
want the traditional
Yes.
Pilsner.
But I do love this beer. This is one of my favorite Saucony beers.
Thank you.
And I love the nod to the Kutztown.
Right. We call it the Golden Bear because the Golden Bears is the mascot for the Kutztown University, and we're part of that community. And they serve the beer at some of their events. When we came out with the beer last year, we donated $1 per case to the Kutztown Alumni Association, as again being part of the community.
very nice. It is delicious.
Yeah, I love this.
Expect anything else?
It's always a solid beer,
Yeah.
and it's always something I look forward to drinking, and it's so good. It's perfect on a warm September Saturday.
There's a lot of people that are getting a little tired or worn out on all the IPAs.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that was
definitely.
one of the reasons that, we brewed the Pilsner. Our lager is popular with the lager drinkers, and we wanted to branch out to the Pilsner.
I'd like to think I had something to do with that.
I think
Oh,
you did.
Can
Totally.
I get a little bit of credit for this?
You get some credit for it.
I'd like to
bit.
think
It's
that
like
I brought the
half
Pilsner
a
back.
percent.
I don't care. I'll fucking take it.
Bringing Pilsners back.
Bringing Pilsners back.
Yeah, definitely.
So Dan and I had this year's Maple Mistress.
Oh, so
yes.
good.
I haven't had it.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love
I,
it.
She's out
I
there.
fucking hate pumpkin beers. I love Maple Mistress.
Yes.
So
I'm in
I
the
have
same boat.
actually.
You're
Speaking
wrong.
of maple, oh, you're wrong. Listeners might not know that Emma is still.
Yes, Emma is
Emma's
still
now
here.
the fourth.
Either
Sorry,
either
I'm
is
here.
is either still at the table or is at the table, and
Still.
we will be interviewing
Still.
her later.
Still.
I'm still not sure that.
the
Dan's producing in his
chronology
head.
the chronology worked out to this point.
Yeah, like a Hollywood production, we are recording this episode entirely out of order.
Her segment happened. It did happen. It's a matter of fact.
You
but-
exist.
I've never been spoken to.
But I want to ask about Maple Mistress, kind of like a band that got really popular off of like one really good song very early in their careers. Do you sometimes look at Maple Mistress and think, like, I'm kind of tired of making that, like we want to move on to something else, or is it still? I mean, I know it's a great beer and it's a huge development, but that was the beer that put Saucony in everybody's minds.
Yeah, that's true, and we love making it. It's a great beer. We never get tired of making it. We don't make it all year just for that reason. We could try to make that all year, or at least maybe through December, January, February, March as a winter beer. But it's once and done. It's for the fall season, and when it's out there, it's out there. And when it's gone, it's gone.
And it's still special when it comes around.
It's still
every time
special
of
to
year.
us. So yeah, we get excited every year about it. We take some of the Maple Mistress each year and put it away,
Yes,
cellar it
you
for a
mentioned
year.
that, yeah.
And so we'll keep some 2019 and pull it out of the cellar in 2020.
And I know we talked about this. I think we were there. But what was the first year for Maple Mistress?
2013.
13. I was going to say 15. Wow. 13.
No, and I know that because that was the first year of our podcast, and that was one
Yeah.
of the first beers I ever reviewed on our
Right.
website.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
She's been out there a long time.
Yeah.
Man,
And now I hear she's naughty.
Yes.
There's a naughty mistress.
Oh, there's
out
a
there.
naughty mistress.
Oh,
Yeah.
Robin was telling us about it when we were there, and it sounds like something I need to have.
So what's naughty about it?
Everyone needs a little naughty mistress in their life.
I have a fun adjunct there. My nickname back home is the Mistress of Malt.
Oh.
Well,
wow.
your nickname here is now Naughty Mistress.
I love it. I'll keep it. It's fine.
So I think Robin told you naughty mistress you can only get at the pub, right?
Yep. Yep.
And that's
Remind
a
me what was in
special-
it.
So I'm trying to remember, to be honest. I'm stalling here a second.
We're like all vamping, like, wait,
You know,
what
I
was
don't-
it again?
It had some sort of liquor in it, and we were like, we are drinking all day, and it was our second stop, and we're like, this is a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, it was-
Is it? So it's like a cocktail?
So the naughty mistress,
A beer
it's
cocktail.
a
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
spiced rum
That's right.
that goes into it.
That's
But I don't
right.
remember whose spiced rum, and we kind of changed that
It
up.
was. I remember he was saying it was a local one by a distillery that's fairly close to the pub.
Yeah, I just don't remember which one. That's why I was stalling, trying to
Trying to remember.
Would it be
which
on
one
the
it's out there.
internet if I search it?
doubt it.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Super
Because we
secret.
get that spiced rum in from various local distillers. So Reading Distilling Guild has a spiced rum. Might be that one.
I think it
might
was them.
be-
That sounds
it could
familiar.
be.
Yeah.
But yeah, a shot of that in there, and then there's also a variation at the pub, which we do a sugar cinnamon rim
Ugh.
for Maple Mistress.
Oh yeah.
Rim
yeah.
job.
So, do you have a general release time for when that'll be available?
Maple Mistress is available now.
Maple Mistress, yeah, but what about Naughty Mistress?
Naughty Mistress is
No,
available
that's
now
now
in the
too.
pub.
I thought he was saving that for. He made it seem like it was going to happen later on in the fall.
No, Iris
it's-
was trying to get us to order them.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Probably because you had like 3 of them.
We were not drunk at that point in the
No,
day.
I was probably too
No,
busy.
no. You were in a cheese coma.
Oh,
Yeah.
cheese coma. That explains a lot. I am looking forward to doing like a 10-year vertical of
Yes.
Maple Mistress one day.
Awesome.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I say one day, 4 years from now, I guess would be
Yep.
the math on that.
We,
Do you have them all?
Yeah. He's,
we go back to 20. Right now, we go back to 2017.
Oh,
so we
so
don't.
you don't
we
have-
don't.
oh, okay.
Unfortunately, we're not. We
From the
we
very
couldn't
beginning.
I think you failed.
control
I think you
ourselves to
failed.
keep the 2013 and 2014 in the cellar long enough.
The
Yeah.
hell?
We had to drink it.
fair enough. Fair
Hurry.
enough.
Maple Mistress is now in limited availability in the United Kingdom.
Oh, yes.
wow.
Yeah.
We shipped about 6 kegs of Maple Mistress over to the United Kingdom a couple weeks ago.
That
So,
is awesome. Any word on how it's being received over there?
The first batch that we sent over to the United Kingdom was received great, so
Good.
much that we got more orders from the United Kingdom, and the second batch is going over there.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Do you have any concerns about quality control when you're shipping it overseas?
so I do have some concerns, but between us and the shipper, I should say the importer over there, it's going into a pallet. The pallet gets insulated, and then that pallet is actually put in the hold of the ship underwater. So while it's not refrigerated going over there, it is in a quote, refrigerated sort of temperature,
Right,
whatever
yeah.
the ambient sea temperature is on the North Atlantic headed across.
Wow.
So it's being shipped at maybe 60 degrees, 64
Right.
degrees. So, but we're going to find out. That's why they're doing this only a pallet at a time, to find out, okay, what is the quality, what do they need to do to provide the product over there that they're looking for. And so far, the first pallet that we sent over, they were very pleased with the
That's
quality.
awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would hear the term ambient seed temperature today.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Or rim job.
No, I had a feeling that would make an appearance.
But either now or later, it's going to come up.
We still don't know.
We all have our preteen minds. Sorry. Some things never change.
That is true. That is
Some
true.
things never
That's
change.
very true.
So we are passing around another beer. We have the Hop Suplex Ale.
Sorry, this is now mine.
Sure,
Steph
go
took
right
the
ahead.
Pilsner like she always does.
Yeah. Is Hop Suplex one of the original ones? I seem to remember that being around for a while.
Yeah, Hop Suplex is one of the original beers from the early days. And Hop Suplex went on a bit of a vacation for a little while.
Oh, really?
So I think this is the first time we brewed it in about a year, roughly, maybe 14 months. We were brewing lots of other styles, and we kind of wanted to give Hop Suplex a little bit of a rest and then bring it back in a can. And that's what we've got now. Previously, Hop Suplex was in the bottle. Now it's coming out in 16-ounce cans.
Oh, this is 10%?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I just saw
10%.
that on the can. Holy Jesus.
Kirby. Are you trying to get us drunk?
I hope so. I want to get you ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. You're not going to be there,
I'm not going to be
though.
there, I know. Sorry. We have a family event to go to. Miss the bottle share.
I'm sorry.
But we've already replied yes to the Christmas one.
That is always a good time. We should not tell our listeners about that. They don't need to know about that.
Yeah.
You guys are always invited.
I know. It was a standing invite.
Yeah.
It's so far away.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
And you have
they're
an
always
Airbnb to stay at.
They're
for
always
free.
on Sundays.
Yes, because Dow has off on Sundays.
But it's such a bad day to leave the city and
'Cause
drink and
others of
stay
us don't
away.
have Monday off then. We got to drive.
I don't have Monday off.
I know, but you also don't have to drive back to Philly.
You can sleep when you're dead.
I used to say that, and then I felt dead, and I think I need to sleep
You
more.
push through the deadness.
No, I'm
Push
I'm
through the
dead on the
deadness.
inside. Does that mean I can
We're
sleep
all
now?
dead on the inside.
Jesus,
That's
we
why
got
we
real
drink.
emo real fast here.
Should I dye my hair black again?
Yeah, you should.
Hop Suplex. So how did it come back?
Hop Suplex came back. It's made with honey. So that's kind of the little twist that we put into it. A couple different hops in the bill there. And it's been, again, popular. We've been shipping it out in cases. People are coming into the pub and walking out with cases of it. It's been a great
Have we
release.
ever talked about the label on the show with you? I mean, we've had you
I don't
guys
know.
on the show so many times.
I feel like we have.
I feel like it's come up.
But I feel like we could talk about it again.
Yeah,
can,
absolutely.
yes.
So there's a dark story behind that label.
Uh-oh.
If you look at the label, it's, for the listeners here who can't see the label, but you can look online, it's got two wrestling characters on that are basically look like pop cones. And originally, the first incarnation of that label looked like two particular wrestling characters. And because
I
of
remember
legal
this.
reasons, I
Yeah.
won't mention their names.
Oh, yes, I do remember
But
this.
one of them was pretty ultimate. And the other guy was pretty randy.
Yeah. Okay.
You should have said that with a British accent.
Real Randy.
That's not a British
was-
accent.
I don't know what that was.
That was terrible. That was really bad.
Hop Suplex had been out on the market a couple of years. I think it was maybe 2 years. And one day we got this letter in the mail from attorneys representing those wrestlers and issuing a cease and desist order because the characters had too much of a likeness to those particular wrestlers. It's hard for me to fathom how a hop cone looks like a wrestler, but
It's a straight. I feel like if you would have gone to court, you would have won. Because you're right.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there that could realistically resemble a real person.
yeah, exactly. But being a small microbrewery, you don't have the legal resources, and even
That's the
more
thing.
than the legal resources, just the time in your schedule
Yeah.
to put up with, whatever it might take to fight that. So we redesigned the label. But I know that if you go out there and are really interested in this and you Google Hop Suplex, there's some images out there
Of the
that
original.
still exist.
Yeah. Oh, everybody's picking up their phones now.
Well, now I'm not going to because everybody else is. I vaguely remember the original one, and it was close, right? Not a whole lot changed except for their appearance.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very the label design is pretty much the same, just kind of the colors and the striping on the faces that were changed. It's very close. We looked at it when it was changed and we're like, really? Like, that's not
That's
okay,
all
but
it
this is
takes.
okay? There it is. Steph's got it. You know, you compare those.
So there's hair.
Oh yeah, there it is too. Yeah.
Hair instead of a
that's a different
hair
image
instead of a
than the one I
mask.
clicked on.
So we got a little
Yeah.
side by side.
Hold on, I want to.
Yeah.
But they felt that they had a copyright on that particular image.
Oh man, but the original was better.
I don't necessarily agree with that statement.
No, the redesign has what do you call him? Like the Mexican
Yes,
wrestler.
that's exactly.
Yeah, like a luchador.
Luchador,
thank
that's the
you.
word I was trying to
like
think
the
of.
luchador feel of
Yeah,
it.
no, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so, you know, live and learn and
Yeah. Life
fight
goes on.
pick and choose your battles, right?
You know, I think the good thing about these stories, though, is, and you hear a lot of this from breweries, and I'm sure any small business in any kind of industry, especially where there's a lot of creativity involved, and when it comes to beers and beer labels, beer names. But the nice thing is, it's always a cease and desist. It's never a like no one we've talked to has ever actually been sued and had to pay money.
Well, that's
They
because
just like
that's-
stop doing
That,
it.
it's
And
the
like, okay.
it's the unspoken rule that you do
Yeah.
a cease and desist first, and if they don't follow that,
Yeah.
then you
well,
litigate.
and because I think it's not worth it for anyone concerned to
Right.
actually otherwise
plus,
than just be like stop doing that.
A cease and
Okay.
desist is kind of like a badge of honor. Like, you guys
Yeah.
were noticed by two bigger name wrestling people,
or at least the company,
or somebody that
owns
represents
Right.
them. Yeah.
their trademarks or whatever.
You know?
Yeah.
And they actually did ask for sales information. It wasn't like subpoenaed or anything, you know, but they wanted to know how much beer we sold. And when they, you know, realized the profits were like, ha, nothing, you know, laugh at it, you know.
Right.
Then they were like, yeah, that's small stuff, you know.
Yeah, just
I
knock-
think
just
they were
knock it off,
thinking we
please.
sold millions of cases a year, and
Yeah.
you know, they could get something out of the profits, but it's like,
Yeah.
no.
I suppose that's the other side of that statement that I made, was that like it's also not worth it to sue someone that doesn't have the resources to pay you
Exactly.
what you're looking for. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to drink the Pilsner
I know
the rest of the day.
It's such a delicious beer, and it's everything you guys put out has been absolutely incredible. When we were there was a
Hold on. How long is the pub open tonight?
The pub is open till 11 p.m.
So are we going over
downtown.
for naughty mistresses, naughty mistresses,
Mistresses.
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 But this is not fucking hard. Just making a word plural.
It sounded weird.
There's
right.
no I. It's not fucking octopus.
So we're going over to the pub for naughty mistresses later on. You had a beer on when we were there last time. It was a bourbon barrel aged something that I can't quite remember, but I remember it being delicious.
Triple.
Was it the triple? Yeah,
Belgian
yeah.
triple.
Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
Yep.
So good. Please put out more barrel aged things.
we've Maple Mistress. We just bought rum barrels from Northeast Barrel, and we've got some Maple Mistress aging in that, and that'll be coming out probably towards the middle to end of November, maybe December. We'll kind of see how that.
Oh, still this
flavor
year
comes up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I figured that would be like a next year thing.
Yeah, no, the rum. It depends on how you're aging it, and what your goal is. In this particular one, I want to get the rum flavor out of it. So those will come out 6, 8, 10 weeks if you're just going after the rum flavor. If you're going to try to develop a deeper flavor, get some woodiness or oak or charred flavors out of the barrel, then let it age longer. But yeah,
Okay.
That sounds exciting. It's sort of like a naughty mistress in and of itself. I mean, you've got the rum going
pretty
into
much.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I look forward to the release of that.
We call it
And-
maybe the slightly less naughty mistress, the mildly misbehaved
Only
mistress.
slutty on the weekends,
Only
mistress.
slutty. Oh my god! We call it the weekend warrior mistress.
Yes.
Okay. Well, on that note,
You're welcome for all
yes,
this. by the way.
yeah, this is all gold. Use it. Kirby, thank you for coming back up here, man. Always a pleasure to see you.
Oh, it's great
Yes.
seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Always.
And good luck over there at your table at the fest. People are stupid if they don't come over and drink your beers. It's
Hey,
simple
and
as
shout
that.
out to Rich for pouring for me while
Yes.
I'm
Rich
over
is
here.
pouring
Right?
them right now.
Rich
Yeah.
deserves every shout out we could possibly give him. Yeah. But it was great seeing you, man. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Thanks, guys.
Till
Thanks,
next
Kirby.
time.
Thank you.
So we said it earlier in the open of the show, one of the best things about this event, being the Pennsylvania Dutch Brewers Festival, is the abundance of homebrewers that are here. There's so many different homebrew clubs, And of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't get somebody from Burke's Homebrew here, besides Steph, of course.
No,
Besides-
we're going to have more than one person from my
All right,
club on this show.
Cool, good. That's how it should be. But joining us at the table, we have Mark. Mark, how are you?
Doing good.
Cool, man. Thank you for coming up to the table.
Yeah, no problem.
Steph made sure to get you up here, and I'm sure we'll get to it at some point, because you have sake with you.
Yes, I do.
And I've got a million questions about that, but I'm going to start with the beer. How long have you been brewing?
I've been brewing since 2014, so 5 years.
Okay, all right. What?
I've been brewing longer than you?
Yeah.
This is new information to me. I've known Mark for a very long time, and I'm learning new things already.
Interesting.
So what got you into brewing?
It really was, I fell in love with sake my first trip there in 2014. I came back home, and then I'm very disappointed in the sake that I can find. So I complained about it enough that my friend told me, well, if you don't like it, just make it yourself. And so I did, and that's how I started brewing sake.
So sake, the process of making sake, how different is it from the process of brewing beer? And also, is it legal to make your own?
It is legal to make your own sake. It's considered, in Pennsylvania, it's considered a wine.
Okay.
It's obviously not actually a wine. A lot of people call it a rice wine.
Right.
There's no fruit in it, so it's not a wine. It's made with rice. It's a grain. It's closest to anything as brewing a beer. But it's very different than a beer in that beer is a multiple sequential fermentation. So you make the sugars first, and then you ferment the sugars, whereas sake is multiple parallel fermentation process. So you're making the sugar at the same time as the sugar is fermenting into alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So the difference between you can't malt the rice.
Right.
You have to use koji. So koji is essentially a moldy rice. You grow the mold onto the rice to create the enzymes, and that's what converts all of the starch into sugar. It converts proteins into amino acids, all of that stuff. And that goes into the batch along with steamed rice, water, and yeast. And that's how we have sake.
Right. So you're sort of mashing and fermenting and all that, like all at the same time,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot longer.
Right.
A lot longer.
It's a
I
much
don't have the
longer
patience for
process.
that.
It's a lot of small steps.
And there's no distillation, though. Like you're essentially
No.
running off then what it worked, but I guess it's fermented at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end, we'll separate. So there's multiple ways of doing it. I use what they call a fune press. It's essentially putting all of the sake into cloth bags and cotton bags, and then pressing weight on top of it to separate the liquids from the solids, because all of the rice is in that during fermentation. So we separate out the solids and the liquids, and then we have sake.
So when you're in that fermentation process, it's a pretty thick
Yes.
substance. I mean, if you
Yes.
have to like press it to get the liquid out, it's
Yes.
not like a soup already.
No, it's pretty thick. As it goes on, it gets thinner and thinner as all of the rice starts to dissolve. But in the beginning, especially we do a starter batch first. It's called moto or shubo, and that especially is very thick at times. I just started a new batch this past week, and at one point when you first start, all of the water gets absorbed into the rice. So it's just soggy rice. You can literally push away the rice and see the bottom of the container.
Right.
But it will get thinner as it goes on. It dissolves the rice and just becomes liquid.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because they say if you drop your phone in water to put it in a bag of rice, it's like super absorbent.
Yeah, it
so
is.
it would suck up all that water. Huh, interesting. I was like learning about new alcoholic beverage production processes. It's fun.
Yep.
You know, as somebody who fixed those phones, it doesn't work.
No?
Once the water's in there, so hit a component, it's going to start corroding, you're done.
Well, and that's the thing that's been around for a long time. Like, I had an old Nokia 256 color brick phone that I did actually drop in a toilet, and I did stick it in a bag of rice, and it was fine.
Placebo.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But I mean,
Once water hits an important component, the copper is going to start corroding, and then you're fucked either way.
yeah, but if you get it dry really quick, won't it stop the corrosion process?
Probably
Side
not.
light, Mark.
Probably not.
Sorry, we get on these tangents. So we want to taste some sake? Do you
Can
have
we?
it with you?
Yeah.
Can we
All right,
sip
let's
some?
do it.
Can
Yep.
we
Let's sip some.
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Can I use my Jedi mind tricks to just make it appear? Make it so. Or we could just yell at one of them to throw it at us.
Throw me the sake.
So Mark studied in Japan recently. his ultimate
That's
goal
cool.
is to open his own sake brewery here in the States. Can you make me and pickle sake? Oh my God, the
Probably
disgusting
could.
look.
I can't even think like
It
what that would
be
taste.
awful.
It would probably be awful. That's a good question, though. Like, as far as like additives or adjuncts to sake, is that like a thing that is done?
True Japanese sake, if there's futsushu, which is essentially your table sake, and that has different laws than your premium sake. Premium sake, there are no adjuncts. The only thing that can be added is water, rice, koji, and yeast. There are types of sake that have distilled alcohol added, but it's a very small amount in premium sake. In futsushu, the table sake, they add it in large quantities to increase yield. Premium sake, they'll add it solely as a technical thing. What it does is it smooths out the sake, it increases the shelf life of it, and it brings out, probably most importantly, it brings out the aromas better. So there's a lot of alcohol, the aromas that can be brought out by the distilled alcohol, the ethanol, in that you won't get in what they call a junmai. Junmai is, they often translate as pure rice. It's not a very good translation, but it is not it's the sake without distilled alcohol added.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So help me use adjectives to describe what I'm smelling. How would you describe that?
Oftentimes, yeast number 9. So sake yeast are usually numbered. This is yeast number 9, and oftentimes it has a bit of banana and apple are probably the two most common.
Apple, I definitely get. Yeah.
For sure.
The banana's in there a little bit. The
Yeah.
apple's more prevalent in this.
It's one of those things where, like, once you said it, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So what is the average? I think when I think of sake, I think like hard liquor. What is actually like the ABV range? Or
It varies a lot. Most sake is usually 15, 16% or so.
so more like wine territory, or like really
yeah,
strong
a little
wine.
bit strong wine. Yeah. Most of that is actually watered down. So sake ferments to the highest alcohol of any brew beverage. I've had it as high as 21%. But usually it's watered down to about 15 to 16.
And this, what we have right here, do you know what is this?
I actually don't know on this one.
Okay. Do you have
Normally
a
I
guess?
do.
Make up a number.
It's most likely around 17% or so.
Okay.
This is not watered down.
That's my problem. I drink alcohol very fast, no matter what kind of alcohol it is. And this seems very drinkable for a sake. Usually they're more... You would sip them.
When I think
guess?
of
It
sake,
doesn't seem
I
really
think like
hot at
harsh.
all.
Yeah.
It's not harsh. It's not hot.
It's a little sweet too. Like, almost cidery.
Yeah, good premium sake you'll usually not be able to tell there's any alcohol in it at all.
Interesting.
There's different grades of sake. So the premium sake the names are determined by how much the rice is milled. So at like the lowest level, it's milled to about 70%, meaning 30% of the rice is milled away. You have your junmai, you have your honjozo. Honjozo is the added alcohol, and junmai is the pure rice sake with no added alcohol. And those tend to be a bit bolder. They'll be richer styles, a lot more, almost sometimes a bit meaty. Go very well with American cuisine, usually.
Okay, more like savory or like buttery, heavy things.
A lot of umami. A lot of umami.
There you go. Yes.
As you move up to higher milling rates, and I say higher as in more milled away. So junmai ginjo or ginjo grade are 60% or more milled away, and daiginjo and junmai daiginjo are at least 50% milled away. So 50% of the rice has been milled and is gone. And what those tend to do, as you get up to the ginjo grade, they tend to be a lot fruitier style. And then as you go beyond that, the daiginjo can also be fruity, but oftentimes has more floral notes out of the sake. And they tend to get lighter and a bit more refined as well.
Interesting. And I could see that sort of complementing more Eastern cuisine, more like the seafood.
Yeah.
I think like something like that with sushi sounds like it would be really good. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get a lot of junmai that go very well with hamburger or pizza.
Oh, nice.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Dan's
exactly.
back. He's back into it.
I've been into it.
So, Mark, what is the future for sake in the States?
Sake is growing actually quite fast in the U.S. especially. Usually year over year it's about double-digit % increase in sales. A lot of that, most of that's imported, but we're starting to grow a lot of small craft sake breweries in the U.S. The nearest one here is Brooklyn Kura, which is in Brooklyn, obviously. But we actually have one coming in Pennsylvania here, opening in the next couple of weeks. I think it's called Sango Kura. That's in Delaware Water Gap. We also have another one opening in Brooklyn as well. That's Kato Sake Works, I believe is the name of that. And that should also be opening this fall. So we have a lot of them opening here. I think one of the big ones is going to be commercial brewery in Japan. Go with it by the brand name of Dasai, is opening a sake brewery at the Culinary Institute of America in
New York.
Yeah.
Poughkeepsie, right?
Yeah, I think so. But they're planning to open that in the spring, I believe, and that's probably going to be huge for the sake market in the U.S.
So would you say that the sakes that are being brewed here in the States are on par with the quality of the ones in Japan?
I would say not yet.
Yeah.
Most of the older breweries that have been in California make very low quality sake. Craft breweries are trying to bring that up. They aren't, for the most part, aren't quite there yet, but they're improving a lot. They're starting to make some pretty good sake here. It's just not quite to the level of Japan. Japan's been doing it for thousands of years now, so they kind of know what they're doing at this point. We're trying to work without all of the equipment, without all of the resources that they have. But very much in the craft beer spirit, they're making it do with what they have, and that's something that's pretty difficult. You have a language barrier to begin with to try and work with these brewers in Japan, try and figure out how to brew this. We don't have the rice that they have in Japan. We don't have the water. The water in Japan is very soft. So even like Brooklyn water is known to be very soft. It's still not as soft as what you'll usually find in Japan. And it's more difficult to get good sake out of this hard water that we tend to find here.
So you mentioned sake breweries. As far as like licensing for commercial production, is it kind of fall under like the brewing and winemaking kind of? I mean, I imagine it's state by state.
It is state by state. Federal is interesting in that they treat it as both a beer brewery and a winery. So in order to get your federal license, you have to go to the back of the line because you can't do it electronically. You have to submit both forms for a beer and winery. Pennsylvania is a limited winery license.
Okay.
So,
I feel like we should just like, because like ciders and meads, like we've talked about a lot of this recently coming up and becoming more popular. We just need like an alcohol production license. Like, why do we have to separate it all?
No, and I think that could be the future.
Yeah,
I really do.
Like you're making alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Period. Doesn't matter.
I completely agree with that. And I always think of Gene when we asked him what's the future of beer, and he said the future of beer is not beer.
Yeah, it's not beer.
He also said, don't let it piss you off.
I know.
Don't let it piss you off.
There it is.
it does make it difficult.
Am I being attacked?
Here we kind of cut out half of the Japanese classifications. So, like, we tend to stick to the Japanese classifications, but we can't do all of the Daiginjo, Ginjo, and Honjozo with added distilled alcohol without a distillery license.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So almost every craft sake brewery in the U.S. is doing junmai only.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, because I mean, you can't brew a beer and throw vodka in it. That's illegal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except some breweries try to.
I mean, hey, although it's perfectly legal if you do it at the bar, like if you like a beer cocktail.
It's a cocktail then.
Yeah.
Well, you have
but
to
to
have
put
you have to have a
liquor
liquor
into
license.
liquor license
yeah.
already. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's true. Interesting.
Well, Mark, thank you.
Yeah,
This was super insightful.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed trying this. It was really good.
Yeah, it was
Very,
really good.
very
I had never really known anything about sake. I knew it was rice-based, but I always called it rice wine, which now I
You won't
think I know
do that
better.
anymore.
Yeah.
Cool. It was delicious. Thank you so much. And
you for
best
having
of luck over there, man. Are you pouring this at the stand? Are they letting you do that?
It is there. If you know it's there,
If you
can
know.
ask.
All right, fair enough.
If you know, you know.
Exactly. Cool. Well, thanks again, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Cheers.
Well, in the spirit of homebrew, it's like Steph said, we're going to have multiple people on from Burke's Homebrew. So joining us now is Jeremy. Jeremy, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Oh, doing fantastic. Thank you for coming up to the table.
Of course.
I have to compliment you on your mustache.
Thank you.
Looks good. Looks good. And I understand that you work for a larger brewery that is fairly well known.
I do. It's more of a regional brewery. It's not nationwide,
Well,
but
right.
I work for Trogs Brewing Company.
See, I didn't want to volunteer the information, so I'm glad you said it.
No, that's fine. I do content coordination for their social media accounts.
That's cool. Now,
I've heard that your camera has been described as, quote, a wonderland.
That would be the man to your left.
no, actually, he said it. He said it.
I don't know what you're talking
So
about.
somewhere along the way, we've had multiple people on from Trogs. And I seem to remember one of them saying that Trogs tends to do like an employee homebrew competition.
I only started there 2 months ago.
Okay. Well, if and when that comes around, good luck at it.
Thank you.
So what kind of beers do you like to brew in your spare time?
I really enjoy a nice, clean, crisp ale. If it's brown ale, like I have brown ale on hand right now. I have a nice, clean, pale ale here today. It needs to be easy drinking for me.
Yeah.
5-6%, just straight ahead.
Very cool. And how long have you been homebrewing?
I've been brewing since 2009.
10
about 10 years.
Look at that.
Cool. So, have you worked at breweries before in like a marketing capacity, or it was Trogs?
No, this is the first time in the industry. I was a photographer for a local newspaper.
Okay. So you worked in photography and like media and stuff before, and then you also been homebrewing for 10 years, and you thought, why don't I put these two things together? And
Exactly.
Go work at a brewery?
My love of beer and my love of photography and a passion for photography.
That's
and
cool.
it just worked out perfectly.
Awesome.
What did you bring to pour today?
I brought a pale ale, Golden Huel Pale Ale. It features Huel melon hops and some Naked Gold notes.
It just a subtle bit of sweetness, right?
Just a little too sweet for my taste.
I wasn't going there.
That's all right. I missed the mark a little bit. That's all right.
We did try that earlier. I
We
think
did.
like when we first got here, it was one
Yeah.
of the first things we
Yeah.
tried. Yeah.
The Huel melon.
It was a little on the sweet side, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. That's okay.
So, and a special shout out to Jeremy because he has sort of been the point person for Berks with organizing this event.
Thank you.
I personally appreciate very greatly. So he did a lot of the design work for this event, the poster, the awesome glasses that we're drinking out of. So you have multi-talents.
Right, and I just parked cars for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we took a group photo
Somebody's gotta
and then
do it.
I posted it and I'm like, where's Jeremy? And I was like, oh, fuck, he's parking cars.
parking
I
cars.
totally forgot.
Did you design
Thanks for taking one
the
for the team.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
the main event logo?
With the double bubbles, essentially.
Yeah, well, and like the very, very Pennsylvania Dutch looking thing.
Yes, yeah.
That's
It-
pretty cool. I like
it was
that.
borrowed from last year's poster, and we
Okay.
just kind of made it this year and made it better.
It's pretty cool. It's very fitting. Like I feel like it encapsulates the event very well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good logo.
And I love whoever decided that we should have the plastic mugs this year because they look fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
me
it was
complimenting myself.
It was a group debate, but the debate
I
ended up
often
in a
win
great
debates.
spot.
I think
She
they're
does
super cute.
through brute force, if nothing else.
I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough.
I will plow my way through.
That's got to be a sound clip right there, Dan. I can't believe we don't have a sound clip of Steph going, I don't give a fuck.
You know what? Yeah, it's going to be a clip
That's
now.
kind
Now
of
you
my
will.
life mantra. Don't give- So how far does Trogs distribute? I mentioned they're not a national brand; they're regional. So how far is that region?
We go as far north as Massachusetts. We hit Connecticut, New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, and as far south as North Carolina.
And if people want to message Trogs and they message them on social media, would they ultimately be messaging you?
They would, or my boss, Justin, who's a great guy, and we do it kind of in tandem. And our handles are at Trogs Beer, TROEGSBEER.
You forgot the umlaut.
we don't have an umlaut in our handles.
That's probably a smart move.
Yeah, it
Would-
is.
If there was an umlaut, would there be issues searching for it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it's a different character.
Yeah. And somebody could spoof it and do it without the umlaut. I mean, you'd have to have both accounts, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah. Use the umlaut, though. They pay
Why
for
have
it.
an umlaut if you can't use it?
It looks cool in print.
It does.
Yeah.
Maybe you need beer busters with an umlaut in there.
We totally should put
totally
an umlaut.
be okay with that.
Boosters. Is that how that works? I don't even know how an umlaut actually works.
I put it over the U.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 U. No, we have 1.
How many U's are the beer busters?
It's okay. Steph can't spell.
It's okay. We make up for that one U with 4 E's.
There's not even 4 E's.
No, there's not. There's only 3.
Fuck my wife right now. You don't even understand.
So you work with Fedge, though, right?
I do work with Fedge. Fedge is
he's still in like the
one
media.
desk over, basically.
Yeah, because he does a lot of media marketing. Fedge is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes. It must be great to be in the aura of Fedge.
Fedge's rock aura is quite large.
Yeah. Absolutely.
First time I ever met my girlfriend, she was wearing a Trogs tank top.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Fun facts.
Have you been to Trogs?
Nope.
Oh, fun fact.
There you go. You could both go.
What's your favorite beer ever?
Which one?
Ever, just like in general. What's your favorite beer?
My
I'm
favorite
being nosy.
beer.
I don't know you.
Nope.
I just moved here.
No, of course. Let's see. Favorite beer.
Call me maybe.
My first beer was lager.
That's not what she asked.
I think he's building up to it.
He sounds like a politician.
Some people tell stories, Steph.
I'm interested. Just
Stories that are
ignore
allowed to
her.
be in the podcast.
This is mine now. I'm here.
You are the fourth member, right?
Apparently.
Right.
Or she could be the replacement third member and I could just get up and leave.
Go drink your beer.
So, yes, my first beer was lager, which was a great entryway. But
Who's lager?
Yingling Lager.
Oh, well.
Lager, we are in Pennsylvania, where you
Well,
just
she's not from Pennsylvania.
I did know that, though, weirdly.
Have you been? Have you visited there yet?
No, but I have drank a lot of it.
It's definitely worth a trip.
That's one of the best brewery tours I
Yeah,
think
it's
ever.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to go in the catacombs and
Yeah.
Prohibition walls.
absolutely.
Sure. It's pretty cool.
I'm a big Two Hearted fan.
It's on
Two-
tap over there.
Oh, that's good to know. Half Acre Pale Ale's up there. I don't know if I have a favorite beer. I'll just enjoy a nice, crisp, clean pale ale.
Yeah.
I really hate when people ask me, what's your favorite blank?
Yeah.
What's
no,
your favorite
it depends
shirt?
on what the blank is. It
Yeah.
depends on
Yeah.
what the blank is.
It's a hard question.
It is, though,
but
because it often depends on, like, your mood and you're like, what's your favorite beer? I love a lot of beers, and it depends, like, what I'm drinking or what I'm doing at the time. And
No, I would agree.
Absolutely. I've been on a Pilsner kick lately, just getting different Pilsners.
My man.
And
thanks to Steph. She deserves credit.
Thanks.
Anytime somebody says the word Pilsner, Steph gets like 1/1,000,000th of a penny.
they make me super geeky. One, I love drinking them. Two, the malt style is interesting for me. So, like, nerd things. I don't know. I
so,
love them.
speaking of nerd things, I just passed my Cicerone beer server test, and I learned way more than I was expecting to learn. And just all the regions and how Kolsch came from Cologne and all those little idiosyncrasies of each style and how each malt profile is just a little bit different.
But, like, what's a beer ingredient, really? I mean, why do you need them? Why do you want to talk about them?
I did use some Dutch Creek.
Don't wait. Would you be a maltstress?
Yeah.
The naughty maltstress.
Oh my god.
Is that my East Coast nickname?
Yes.
Your East
Okay.
Coast nickname.
And I can't spell anymore.
No, Steph can't spell
When
it all.
I make business
It's
cards for Deer
N-A-U-G-H.
Creek, can I put that as my official title?
Fuck
Please
you,
do.
I'm getting drunk
Please
right now,
do.
okay? It's
Please
still light
do.
out.
We
and
get a
I'm
nickel
drunk.
for each one you get printed.
Okay. That works.
So we talked about your employer and the things that you've brewed, and you have your pail here with the melons. What are you going to brew next? Do you know?
I'd love to do a porter, something coming up probably in the next month or so that I'll brew, and that way it'll be ready for over the holidays, a nice, rich, malty porter. Maybe add some coffee to it.
Yeah, that's the magical word.
Absolutely. Got to go cold steep it on the counter, good day and a half, and then press it, like French press it, and then add it after the fact.
Oh, that sounds nice.
I feel like you've tried this before.
Oh, I've definitely done it before.
What other kind of coffee beers have you done?
That's the only one.
Just the only one? All right. All right. Well,
I
still,
actually don't drink coffee.
I don't understand that sentence.
I love
don't
coffee, but I don't drink it.
coffee.
I want to drink it, but I don't.
Do you drink tea?
I do drink tea.
Okay.
Yes. I would much rather have a cup of tea before coffee. It just I do not like the bitterness of coffee.
See, I can understand someone who doesn't drink coffee who does drink tea.
Yeah.
That I
It's the
can get.
mustache.
Yeah. It's the mustache. Makes you...
Sophistication.
I mustache tea.
Well, don't sophisticated people drink tea?
Is coffee not sophisticated?
No.
No, not really.
I guess espresso is sophisticated.
Well, if you French press it, that fancies it up, right?
Cold brew, French press, put it in a
Those
stout.
are buzzwords. It works.
Right, pinky out the whole time, right?
Yeah. Hazy
Cold brew
coffee,
is
milk
the
stout.
wet hop of the IPA in the coffee world.
You make a kettle soured, cold brewed, hazy milk stout.
With blueberry extract.
With all the buzzwords.
And a glittery label.
And
Northeast.
glitter.
Northeast hazy.
Literally
and glitter, of course.
Yeah.
Why would we not put fucking
Don't forget the
Because
food
that
grade
makes
glitter.
sense.
What is that?
Gold flakes, Goldschlager.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, I don't know what the hell's going to make it in your actual segment of the podcast. But thank you for coming up to the table and chatting with us. Congrats on the gig at Trogs.
Thank you.
It's relatively new. If they do the homebrew contest, I hope you have a good showing in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd like to welcome anyone in Berks County out to the Homebrew Club Festival, the festival next year. Hopefully we have one. Or if not, definitely the meetings, which is the second Tuesday of the month at Canal Street Pub.
Except October, it will be the third Tuesday of the month. But if you want to know, follow us on Facebook, Berks Homebrew.
There you go.
Cool. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you
Great
very
chatting
much.
with you, man.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
Do you want a robot to help you brush your teeth? Well, I want to tell you about Quip. What's Quip? It's a robot that helps you brush your teeth. It's a modern oral care brand that designs beautifully simple electronic toothbrushes. Not only that, but they also deliver affordable brush heads every 3 months on a dentist recommended schedule, so you never forget to replace your toothbrush, like we all do. They've partnered with dentists to bring you straightforward oral care tips. They also have smart accessories like the press wall mount that attaches to any glossy surface. Toothpaste tubes provide a guide on how much to use, and the brush has a 2-minute timer to help make sure you won't shortchange yourself. If you want to find out more about Quip and get a free $10 refill, go to tryquip.com/beerbusters. That's right, a $10 refill at tryquip.com/beerbusters.
Well, we couldn't be here at the Pennsylvania Dutch Brewers Festival without having not just somebody behind the organization, but the person responsible for most of it, if I'm not mistaken. We have Holly with us. How are you?
I am good, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for having us out here. This fest is great. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. How's it been going? So, I mean, it looks like it's a success. People seem like they're having fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's dogs and
Yeah, there's dogs.
That is
lots
kind of a highlight.
people, and it's really, the food is so good, and the beer is amazing, and the band is, I couldn't be happier.
Cool. Yeah, the band is really good. What are the Middle Class? That was their name, right?
Middle class,
Yeah.
yep. I actually just requested Zeppelin. They're going to play
Nice.
some Zeppelin coming up.
That's a good request.
And, they're really good.
Cool. I seem to remember last year, and Steph had to remind me that last year was later in the year. But I find it weird that last year I was wearing a sweatshirt and a winter hat, and I was still cold, and I'm in shorts this year. And I don't know how to process that.
Yeah, so last year we got feedback from a bunch of people and tried to make the event better this year, so we moved the date up a little bit to, make sure the weather was as good as it could get, and we got a perfect day for
Yeah,
it. It's
that's true.
sunny and 80, and we moved the time back a little later even, so it's more of like an evening event.
I feel like right now the weather's at the point where, like, if you're over there in the field in the sun where nobody is, it's probably a little too hot.
Yes.
But here under the roof and with the trees
Yeah,
all around
it's
in the
great.
shade,
Yeah.
it's really nice. Yeah, it's really comfortable.
Awesome. It's awesome.
So talk to me about the judging system for this year and some of the prizes.
So we, same as last year, each person who buys a ticket gets 3 voting tickets, and they get to vote in the little bags for their favorite beer. And then probably around 6:45, we'll collect the bags and count the votes. And the people with the top 3 amount of votes will get the prizes. So first place is a bag of malt from Deer Creek. Thank you for our Deer Creek friends. And they'll also get a Pennsylvania Dutch Brewers Fest, which was made custom by Brian Welch.
Yeah, the T-shirts are awesome.
Yeah, T-shirts are really cool. And then we have some stainless steel tumblers and coasters and some different things that the first place prize winner will get. And the second place person will get a commemorative T-shirt and coaster, another T-shirt, and then the third place will also get another T-shirt and some fun gifts. So, yeah, and each person gets a certificate to take home. It's laminated and really nice, and it was made by our printer, so it's not just something that was designed by one of us. So it's pretty cool.
It's not just like clip art from
Yeah.
like Microsoft Word. Yeah.
Yeah, no stick people on there, no black and white beer cups. Yeah, so it's been great. I'm glad to actually be in the festival, seeing everyone having a great time, and all the work over the past 6 months has paid off, and yeah, it's really good. The beers are amazing, which I can take no credit for the beer here, so that's all the other people here. So
Yeah, everything we've had so far has been really good.
No, the best is the pickle beer.
Special delivery
I
to
have
you.
the Kennedy special. Mark keeps bringing me cups of it.
Yeah. It's a secret pickle beer.
I need to get that.
I do know that our social media posts regarding this event this year really got a lot of traction.
We
And
reached 70,000 people.
yeah, like really
Wow.
a lot of people aware of the event, a lot of buzz around the event. Have you seen an increase in interest and attendance, and like you feel like it's growing now that you're in the second year?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the social media aspect, which I know I was posting at least once a day on the page for the past couple weeks, I think it's brought in, like, you know, kind of maybe people that are more into Facebook, you know, like maybe just, you know, there's more of a younger kind of crowd and everything like that. So, I don't know, I kind of feel that vibe. And then, you know, there's lots of puppies.
Yeah.
I posted on the Humane Society website, or their Facebook page, because they have a Walktoberfest, or walk event. So I posted on there for people to come on over with their dogs afterwards. So, yeah, we'll see. It's great.
Very cool. And this year, Berks and Brooklier are back again. But we have some new homebrew clubs that are part. Oh, Lancaster's back again too, right? There are some members of Lancaster that are back, but Lehigh Valley is joining this year.
Yeah, I
for the
see
first
them
time.
over there.
Yeah, Lehigh Valley's here, and they brought some great beer. And we all, Brooklier and Lehigh, went out to the National Homebrew Convention in Providence this year, and both of our clubs had a gold winner. So we were
cool.
two of the
Congrats.
three people in the state, two of the three clubs in the state that had a gold winner in Pennsylvania. So lots of good beer here.
That's exciting. Well, we're so happy to be part of this event again. I know we want to talk to Mel for a little bit, who is from Lehigh Valley. We haven't gotten to talk to anyone from there before, but it's really nice. It looks like everyone is having a good time. The beers are great. I'm really anxious to see who wins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a close
gonna be
call. You
tough.
never know what the people want.
Pickle beer, you think?
Well,
That's what I'm hoping for.
You know, I was talking to the people at Polar, so Peter Olar and Peter Jr. Olar from Polar, who won the first prize last year.
That's right, yeah.
And I'm like, you guys,
It was a brown ale, right?
Bear something.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bear
Kodiak.
Paul Brown or Bear.
Kodiak Bear.
Kodiak
Yeah,
Bear.
yeah.
Something like that.
So he, you know, he's like, he's working for his votes, you know. So he's working for his votes over there, and he knows there's a lot of good beer here. But I feel like he's got a good chance at winning again. So
We shall see.
We'll
Is that
see.
an official prediction?
Something
know.
from Polar? Yeah.
I
You're
don't
voting
know.
against your husband?
The logo,
Your husband knows how to brew a lager, right?
He does.
Sorry to say.
So Matt's problem is he brings a lot of beer. He brings eight
this year,
beer.
yeah.
So it kind of, I feel like it can diffuse the votes. You know, if he brought 4, I feel like his votes
His
would be...
Keller Pills, though, is... I mean, the pickle beer is my favorite. I'm not going to lie, but that Keller Pills is fucking delicious.
Which stand is your husband at?
The rabbit.
No,
Okay,
the
that's what I thought.
rabbit stand.
I had the 1841.
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
the
That was
year?
very good.
Yeah, that was really good.
That beer was brewed at Appalachian.
Oh, cool.
For, like, competition.
Oh, that's cool.
He
yeah.
won a competition, so we got to scale up.
Yeah, we
And-
tried pretty much all the lagers, I think, that he brought.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
we saw,
refuse to drink
We
the
saw
IPAs.
5 lagers, and we were like, oh, okay, well, we're going to try all of these.
Yeah, and Mark, I don't know, has Mark been on here?
No, not yet.
So he'll be, if he comes on, so he brought some of his Holy Mole, which is going out to Great American Beer Festival next month.
And they brewed that at Iron Hill, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So that's here if anybody wants to taste it. And his Hakuna Matata, which is also on tap at Iron Hill, is here to taste. So.
Which Iron Hill location?
North Wales.
So if you want to drink some good beer, go to North Wales.
Or Pennsylvania Dutch Brew Fest.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little late now. Come next year.
Come next year. So, yeah. And then so also another thing we're doing first this year is we have some beer cocktails. So at Station...
Oh, I saw that in the map, but I forgot.
13, I think it is. We're mixing hard lemonade and mixed berry Berliner Weiss.
Oh, wow.
And really good beer cocktail. And then another one is hard iced tea mixed with some of the Berliner Weiss.
Interesting.
So, yeah, lots of fun things
We might need to head over there then.
Yeah, that sounds like a game plan.
Sounds interesting. We've had sake, so.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's true, too.
It's all downhill from here.
It's all downhill from here.
So some other highlights. So Taylor House is here. And we're happy to have Dave Barber, who's a Nakazi winner, and also some great beer over there. So
very cool. Very
really good thing.
Several accomplished brewers last night. It's very exciting. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you
It's
so
good to
much.
see you. It's good to see you smiling.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have
and thanks
fun.
for having us out here.
Enjoy all your hard work.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Festival's still going. Middle Class is taking the stage. They're playing Zeppelin right now, which was cool. That was, as Holly mentioned, that was her request. But we have joining us now from the Lehigh Valley Homebrewers, we have Mel and we have John. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing well. This is a great event.
Yeah.
Great. It's a lot of fun here.
Yeah, it's a good event. Thank you for coming up to the table and chatting with us.
We should also mention that John has dethroned Steph.
Yeah, Steph had to run to the bathroom.
Overthrew her and took her microphone.
Yes, pretty much.
In a violent exchange of power.
It was one for the ages.
So, yeah, right.
That's the power of the Lehigh Valley.
So this is the first year Lehigh. Well, it's only the second year of the fest, but you guys weren't here last year. You guys are new to the fest this year. How's it been so far?
It's great. It's a great venue, and I think we're having a great time. It's we're on the sunny corner, right?
Oh, you are. Yeah.
It's been a bit of a challenge, but
Our backsides are getting baked.
I will say though, we are pretty much like at the opposite corner from you guys. From here, the translucent backlight coming through your banner is pretty fucking heavenly.
Please don't say anything about the crooked banner.
It's very I was going to say
it's a little crooked, but look at the light coming through it right now. It's perfect.
It's very artistic. Yes, right.
It's almost like you planned it.
Yeah.
So, how many beers do you guys have today?
So we've got 7 beers today that we're pouring.
Wow,
right?
Wide variety of styles.
Yeah, I think so. It runs the gamut from Pennsylvania Swanky, which is a historical beer, to a double IPA.
Yep, with Saison, American Blonde, honey wheat, and
American wheat with cantaloupe.
Spice cider. I think it's the only cider here at the festival.
Very nice.
Which I find interesting because on the banner they did say, try the beers and the ciders, and I'm glad that you guys have one, although I kind of wish there were more. So if you have those beers that are with you, how many people are here with you for the day?
About 10.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So do you brew your beers as a group, or do you brew them individually and then just bring them as the group?
Yeah, so more or less our members brew them individually, and we let them know that we're going to do an event like this, and then they'll show up and let us know what they want to serve. And we like to be inclusive and give an opportunity for everyone to serve their beer in public, because I think that's a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we do events where we brew together. We do barrel brews and Learn to Homebrew Days coming up November 2nd, where members invite their friends who are interested in learning more about homebrewing and come out and see all the different brewing rigs that we bring to the event. We really just want to encourage good beer being made in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah, that's really what the club is about. We want anyone who's interested in making their own beer or learning more about beer or cider or mead, because we have some mead makers and some cider makers in our club.
Some people make wine.
Make wine too. We want anyone who's interested, to come join us. So we have our club meetings the last Tuesday of every month. every other month. Like our next meeting is going to be at in the Steel Garden Lounge at Bethlehem Brew Works.
The last Tuesday of every month.
Last Tuesday of every month is when we have our club meetings, and then we actually rotate every other month. We rotate our meetings out to a place that one of our current or former members has opened. Because we have that many folks that have, turned the hobby into a profession.
Yeah, and we mentioned before you guys sat down and we officially started the interview, you gave a greetings to Steph from Josh Bushy, 6% Josh up at Two Rivers, who is an alumni of Lehigh Valley Brewing Company, and definitely, obviously we had that Thai Saison on our last episode in the basement. Oh my God, was that fucking amazing! And
anybody bang their head in the basement, cellar, looking at all his barrels he has down in the basement.
We did that years ago. Yeah, definitely. Actually, I have video footage of that. But amazing beer coming out of Two Rivers, alumni of Lehigh Valley.
So Taylor House is here at the festival, and their head brewer Mike Lessa and their co-brewer Dave Barber, they're very
active members in our club.
Cool. They run our BJCP certification program or training. Mel and I both went through that to get our certification to become beer judges, and they also support the club. We do a lot of in-club competitions, and a lot of times the prizes go brew that winning beer at Taylor House.
Right. Oh, that's cool. And how long has the Lehigh Valley Homebrew Club been around?
We just had our 13th competition, Malt Madness, which was last month in August. That was our 13th homebrew competition, which is one of the bigger competitions on in the region. And I want to say it's about 15 years as an organization.
Wow. Cool.
So
very cool.
Yeah, and we look to brew. We do a lot of events. One of our big events is coming up in downtown Bethlehem. It's going to be Harvest Fest on October 5th. We're going to have our tent out there and our jockey box, and we'll have at least 2 or 3 flights of beers. From our members. And we're one of the most popular tents. There in the downtown area. Our lines are always the longest, right? Because everyone likes to check out all the different kinds of homebrews that we have.
Very cool.
Very cool. The week after that, we'll be joining the Lehigh Valley Brewers Guild at Cedar Beach in Allentown. We'll be there, and it's great to serve aside all the professional brewers in Lehigh Valley.
Cool. Well, definitely. I mean, if you're out and about and you see Lehigh Valley homebrewers, check them out. Obviously, some pretty talented brewers in your club. They've gone on to open their own places, so
I would say
I
would say we had there was a contingent of us that were up in the the National Homebrew Conference, HomebrewCon as they call it, in Providence back in June, the end of June. And one of our brewers, Ryan Celia, took home a gold medal in with his English porter, right?
Oh, nice! Wow.
And, so that was the gold medal at the National Homebrew Competition, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be pouring that at Harvest Fest in downtown Bethlehem. So,
all right, awesome. So we mentioned the notable alums that have come out of the club. Is anybody that you know of in your club working on opening a brewery, a professional brewery?
Well,
do you want to rat them out?
I would say probably 35 to 40% of them are, working on it.
You can say that about homebrewers in general.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I know Dave Anderson.
So we know that 14th Fret will be
14th Fret
will be opening in Nazareth. We expect to see them open
14th Fret.
14th Fret.
I like that name. That's cool.
Yeah, they're going to be opening in Nazareth within by the end of the year, we think, right? I'm not sure who's next after that. Could be anybody.
It could be anybody,
right?
I know Dave has trademarked Buttsville Brewing in New Jersey, right? So, Buttsville. Yes.
I mean, like beyond that, like
That's the name of the town. You know,
It's all on the up and up.
On my 40th birthday, we did a beer tour of that area. There's Sigmeister, Jersey Girl Brewing, and Manskirt are in that area, and he's looking to open another one.
And like it's not just limited to brewing. We also have a couple of members that have opened up other craft beverage businesses, right? Like so,
Gallows Hill
Spirits.
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah.
like which is craft distillery.
Yeah,
and,
Bob Piano is a tremendous supporter.
Right, and Triple Sun,
Chris Quant,
Chris Quant, and Triple Sun shares space with Yergi Brewing, Jim Yergi, and then also Colony Meadery, right? So like we really kind of cover the gamut, between beers and meats and spirits.
Very cool.
All of the people.
Great. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out on your homebrew club. See who the next big famous brewer to come out of there is going to be to open an awesome brewery.
Right.
Yeah, it's great to meet you guys. So glad you guys are part of this fest. We hope you come back next year.
Absolutely.
And, definitely. Keep up the good work. Keep churning out those commercial brewers.
So I added this podcast to my list as a result of this festival. I've been listening to you guys.
That's what we want to hear. Thank you.
So it's
a win-win.
Listening to your Levante was a lot of fun.
That was a fun
great.
day. That was Levante's always a shit show.
To
absolutely,
say, in the best way possible. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I hope everybody gets to try your beers over there.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course.
Cheers, guys.
And Steph is throwing me out of her seat.
Yeah, she's taking it back her throat.
That's right.
Right. Like, and let me just plug the website, lvhb.org.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Well, the festival is just about coming to a close, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful time. We need to thank everybody involved in this. Thank you to Holly for putting it on, for having us out here, all the homebrewers for coming, and the breweries who sent their beer, and to everybody who's on the show. And Emma, thank you for joining us for the majority of the show.
Thanks for letting me sit here and drink beer with you.
Of course. It was a pleasure. The band is still going. They probably got a couple more songs left. Middle Class is their name. They're a band out of Philly. We are passing around other libations. Steph, we didn't mention this earlier. You brewed a beer that was poured here. You co-brewed a beer that was poured here.
Yep.
Mertz.
I don't brew at home anymore.
Yeah, you brew at other people's.
Because it's easier to brew on other people's shit.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't brew at home either.
I did transport the keg between my thighs today, though.
That's...
Fuck yeah, you did.
Good for you. Congrats.
Which apparently is the safest place to put a keg of beer.
I'm confused by that. This is red. So, dare I ask, out of what we had, so assuming we had tickets, we don't have tickets to vote because we're vendors.
Pickle beer.
Your ticket would go to the pickle beer. Emma, what would your ticket go to out of what you had?
1841.
Good choice. Wayne.
Probably something also from Matted Rabbit. Who
I would give him some for the Keller Pills.
Yeah,
that was my favorite.
Or the Fest beer. Actually, the Fest beer was very good from there.
Yes, it was. Mine, I think. Well, how many would we get? Do we get 3? Do we get 1?
3. You get
All
3.
Right.
I didn't try. The thing is, though, if I was actually
we
voting,
didn't try everything.
I would have at least tried to try at least most of the homebrews, and a lot of them we didn't try.
The maple Scotch ale over here was really good.
That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Eric did a very nice job with that.
I did like Stefan Ron's Meriton.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. You'd get a ticket out
of course, and this goes back to the question of like people asking you like, what's your favorite beer? Right now, I just want to drink Oktoberfest and Fest beers and Meritons, like because it's that time of year.
It's
and, like,
the season.
Sierra Nevada just did an Oktoberfest this year, and they collaborated with a brewery in Germany. I'm not going to waste my fucking time looking at it. And it is fucking amazing. And Barley Mow has it on tap right now, and I think I've consumed a good percentage of that kick myself.
Nice. Well, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Remember, for those of you out there...
The 4th of November.
Remember. Was it the 4th or was it the 5th? It was the 5th. Remember the 5th of November.
Hashtag never forget.
Yet you forgot. Remember, for those of you out there listening to this who are intrigued, as you should be, you can find us online at Beerbusters on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook, we are Beerbusters Podcast. There's also beerbusterspodcast.com. And Patreon. Don't forget Patreon. Sign up, become a patron. You get access to things like Last Call, where we'll have some goodies in this. We may or may not have decided to do a punishment. I'm still going to push that idea. but we're going to see what happens. But for regular non-fest episodes, there's always a punishment. Loser of Happy Fun Time game has to endure a punishment beer, which is also filmed. As little as $1 a month gets you access to all those goodies. You can donate more if you want, but as little as $1 a month. Please donate more.
$50 a month, and we will actually give you the recording
Onesie.
of what Steph just said.
With a picture of me in a onesie. Isn't that the $50 prize? It's always me in a
you in a
onesie.
onesie. You in a onesie.
We'll give you. We should save all the clips of all the things that we've said that we know we can't publish anywhere.
Oh my god!
And make that like the $1,000 Patreon.
But you
bonus.
have to come to us and listen to it in person. We're not giving you a recording of it.
Yeah.
Also, they're long gone because I've deleted them all.
Well, you have the raw.
Nothing's
raw
ever actually deleted.
You know, some of the raw files.
Most of the raw
files.
Nothing's ever actually deleted.
But we have to remember, and then I got to go through and listen to them, and I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, well,
but
or
still,
we could just sit in person, and I could just tell you
We
all
could
the
just sit
things
here
that I
and say
wanted
all
to
the
say.
shit that
that is true. And remember, you're listening to a podcast. You probably listen to multiple podcasts. Please, if you are so inclined, rate and review us on whatever app you are currently listening to this. And do that for every podcast to listen to. We all want to grow our audiences, and that is how we get in front of new ears. We prefer 5 stars, but got to be honest.
We'll take all the stars we can
All
get.
of the stars. And leave a nice little review. Tell your friends, tell the world to also become patrons.
I realized last night if I ever had a child and named them Star, their name would be Star Baker. Which, if you watch British Bake Off, means something to you.
It's so loud, I can't even hear the outro music.
Yep, that's true. But this does unfortunately bring us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters. Another festival, 2019 Pennsylvania Dutch Brewers Festival at the Reading Liederkranz. Hell of a time. If there's a 3rd annual, you should make sure that you come to that one. And well, it's never set in stone. They're talking about it, but you don't know. Nothing is set in stone. When there's a 3rd one, come to the 3rd one. Well, hey, I'm Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and that guy,
Wayne Baker. No goods or harm to the making of this episode. We'll see you next time. I'm only slutty on the weekends.